basic building blocks for the application server. So today we'll be looking at the WebLogic server introduction and how exactly to work with WebLogic server. Right. So today's agenda is what is WebLogic server, installing WebLogic server, and the prerequisites we need, and the modes of installation, directory structure of the WebLogic server we will be studying. After that, we will be looking at so what is server? The mainly thing is why we call it as WebLogic server. Why don't we call it something else? It's application server. In fact, what exactly the application server is? Mainly the server is a software program which satisfies any kind of client request. For example, if you if you fire some kind of request, for example, I need these details, I'll just send the request to the server, and I just send the request to someone who is who look forward for my request. So that kind of program it is implemented as. It's a server, in fact. So whenever you must be knowing the client server architecture, client and server. When client client will be there to just forward the request, and server will be there to perform those requests and provide the response to them. So it's like it is a software program which just satisfies a client request. There are different types of servers. Are there file servers, database servers, web servers, application servers? As we see that this is application server, what we study about today, the application server is mainly concerned about providing the responses for the application requests. So whenever if I want to access some kind of page, some kind of application, it should provide that kind of application back to me. So if I just hit www.google.com or yahoo.com, that is a kind of IP address what I type in, but that will resolve into some kind of application later in the in between in the middleware business logic. In the three-tier architecture, there will be business logic as we looked at yesterday. So that it will go there by resolving the IP address and going into the F5 load balancer, those kind of different layers, and it will go into some kind of application. It will hit there and it will bring back the application. Bringing back, it will not be done by the client application, client server, client side. But the thing is, that is a part of giving back from the server side. Server will give that response for that request from the client. So whenever you need any kind of application, or whenever you need kind of processing or something like that, if you just submit any kind of request, it will be approved. It will be like it will be given back with an response that is provided by the servers. So file servers, these are called as file servers. I mean, they just majorly hosted for the providing the files or storing the files, or just access to the files, providing access to the files, those kind of things. For those kind of things, the file servers are mainly maintained. And the database servers, these are mainly the relationship RDBMS servers. In fact, those have a storage, and those have a request for, those will get the request for storing the data, storing the data into the tables of the database, and those will give the response as in the form of tables. Those kind of servers are called as database servers. And the web servers, those are mainly example for file servers. You can take it as FTP servers. FTP servers you can take, and I'm not able to. Okay, I'm typing in. Yeah. FTP servers you can take, and there are many servers they maintain. Like for example, FTP servers has a different types of files. Similar fashion, they will be having a different file types for the different this thing. For tape drives, they will be having for the database servers as well. And for the file servers, you can take it as mainly the FTP servers are maintained. In fact, is that okay with you, Naga? Right. Fine. The database servers are like you have Oracle database. There are mainly the different servers are maintained for the database, Oracle database servers. So those are meant for only for database data storing or something like that. So whenever you have some kind of request to store in the database, so that will be just processed over the application. You just fill in some kind of data, and the application will process on this, and applications are the data will be stored into the database by the application side. So those are the database servers, and the web servers are there are many different examples for the web servers, like Apache server is there, and the iPlanet server is there, and the IHS, OHS, those kind of servers are there. Those are mainly maintained for processing the static files like JSP, HTML, those kind of files, and the images files, those kind of files, right? Those are the web servers. We'll be looking at one of the web server, uh, configuring it to the WebLogic server, in fact. And the application server, as we saw yesterday, application servers are many, like JBoss is there, WebSphere is there, WebLogic is there, Resin is there, Cold Fusion is there, Glassfish is there, Prometheus is there. There are many different servers out there in the market. Yeah, however, they differentiate themselves in different type of features, different type of concepts, but they provide the same kind of characteristics, functionality, as we take it as application server. Yeah, Tomcat is also application server. In fact, Tomcat is also, but it doesn't satisfy the EGP application. Just satisfy the uh, some of the EAR applications. EAR not a really EAR applications. Yeah, JSP solids application, but it's not meant for EGP enterprise-based applications. It's not really that level matured, in fact. And as we talk about the WebLogic server owns 43% of the market share in the current market, and its major competitor WebSphere is at 31%, and remaining uh, percentage is covered by different other application server, like some of the people use Tomcat for their own limited business enterprise, and some of the people use JBoss. JBoss is a kind of huge after a WebSphere, and some people use Resin with very little percentage, like around 5 to 6%, and some of the people use Glassfish. Glassfish is almost like going to be deprecated, something like that, because it's owned by Oracle now, so Oracle is completely promoting a project server. Even we had OAS, Oracle had OAS, Oracle Application Server, but that is also deprecated. That was till only 10.3 or something, 10G, something like that. But after that, they deprecated that version, that product itself. Now they are moving completely to a WebLogic server. They are bringing each and every product to the WebLogic server itself. And WebSphere is having a big share, good big share, in fact, in the market. So even they are a good competitor for the WebLogic server. And yeah, mainly the application servers are meant for hosting the web applications and UGB applications. Those are, like yesterday we have studied about this, for hosting enterprise applications, business applications, different type of applications, third-party applications also you can do. You can just connect to the WebLogic server. They have a connectors, adapters in different way, different types, and so that you can just make sure, yeah, your business is running smoothly with the help of application servers. That is it. And to that, we will look at the, if you have any questions at the WebLogic server, we will look at WebLogic server introduction, we will look at the end of the session. And after that, we'll be looking at the WebLogic server installation, how exactly we do the installation, what exactly the requirements are. Just assume you are working in your organization and you have been requested for, or just raised a case for installing a WebLogic server in your environment, in your server machines or something like that. So what you will do is you'll just find out what exactly the request is. So what do you need? What do you need as a request there? What do you need to install the WebLogic server? So there are many basic prerequisites you require for installing the WebLogic server. The main thing is you need to look for what exactly the details provided, like WebLogic server version and operating system to install, and what is the availability of heap memory and the RAM, and what is the available storage space to just install the WebLogic server. And the installation file, as I said, it's a WebLogic server version, and the exe file if you want, if you're installing Windows, or if it is jar bin file if it is Linux machines. And JDK, if you are installing the generic version of the WebLogic server, I'll come to that generic version of the WebLogic server, you need the JDK to install first, because you need to give the path for the JDK while installing the WebLogic server. We'll come to that part as well. And if you are installing the exe or binary mode of the web installation file, then you don't require, because the JDK or JRocket come along with the installation. Okay, so for this, what you need to look at is, if you would like to have a standard supported configuration which will be supported by Oracle itself, because Oracle, what it will do is, if you just raise any kind of cases, if you're facing any kind of issues with your WebLogic server, what it will do is, it will just look at the standard configuration, what exactly you have installed on. Because if you have installed in some other third-party stuff which is not really supported by Oracle, then they'll reject it. They'll say that we don't support. For that, you need to make sure that you have installed in a supported configuration. Supported configuration, you mean like supported database, supported operating system, supported JDK, supported along with the supported installation file. If you are installing kind of WebLogic 10.3 version, so you need to make sure it should be supported over the operating system which is mentioned in the support matrix of the Oracle, and you need to make sure it is supported over the database which is mentioned by the Oracle. So those kind of things you need to make sure. For this, you need to have WebLogic server support matrix. I think I have downloaded it somewhere. Let me show you that. Yeah, it's here. For 12C, it's here. It is a support matrix. What we can do is, right, WebLogic server system certification. This is the one. You just have to click on this, and you just have to look into these details, like Oracle WebLogic server. This is 12.1.1, and if it's 64-bit, it is supported on Red Hat EL5 Enterprise Linux 5 version. It's UL6 plus, this kind of update or something like that, UL6 plus, and this is OS 64-bit is supported, Oracle FM Fusion Middleware 64-bit supported, and JDK version, this is supported 1.7.0_02 plus. After this and after this is supported, and this is JDK version of 64-bit is supported. If you are following in this kind of configuration, this is supported. If you are following in this kind of configuration, it's supported. Whatever values given over here, all these are supported configurations. If you are following in any one of this configuration, you are supported by the Oracle support. It's like that. So whenever you are just making sure of installing the WebLogic server on your environment, you just make sure to just look into this configuration. You will be finding this if you just search in Google or something like that. You will be Oracle WebLogic server support matrix. If you just search like this, it will give you some of the Excel sheets like current system certification, XLS, Oracle WebLogic server. If you just click on this, you'll be able to get the some kind of Excel sheet. You can save it and you can just have a look at it. So that thing is there, and after that, we need to make sure the operating system, according to that support matrix, we should have an operating system installed, operating system in place, RAM will not be given in that support matrix. However, you need to make sure you have sufficient RAM to install, because at minimum you need 512 MB for this thing, for each server. 512 MB minimum you need, but for once you deploy the application, you need to have a sufficient RAM. Whenever users start hitting your application, users start hitting your web server application, server like that, you need to have sufficient RAM, because you need to allocate the application objects over the heap memory. So that is really required, because if the heap goes out of space, then you will face the problems. So you need to make sure heap memory is sufficient, RAM is sufficient, and this is allocated to the functional WebLogic server instance. We'll come to that later. And the drive space you require, the storage space you require. Once you install, it will hardly require around 1.5 GB, but you need to have once you start working with your WebLogic server, it will create a lot of other files like log files, different files it will create. So for that you need to have at least 4 to 5 GB you need to have for this. But however, any organization will have more than that as well, right? And after that we need to have a WLS installation file. Like I have one installation file 12c I have stored over here. It's this is the one, WLS 12.1.1 win32.exe. It's a Windows 32-bit environment exe file. We'll install this file today. So you need to have this file as well. I need to have a JDK. If you are installing generic version of the file, I'll show you how exactly generic version looks like. For that you need to have a JDK installed before, proper supporting JDK which is given this supported matrix, right? You need to look into that matrix and you need to download the same kind of JDK and you need to install it if you are installing the generic version. Otherwise, if you are installing non-generic version, then JDK will be shipped along with the this thing, so WLS installation file, right? So okay, after that we'll be looking at the installing Weblogic application server. Minimum system requirements are like this. RAM depends. In fact, you need to have at least 1 GB minimum. 512 MB we say, but 1 GB is required at least for each server. For at least administration server, you need to require 512 MB or 1 GB. You can take it as like that. Storage 3 to 5 GB require once you install the Weblogic server. It will acquire the space like anything. I mean, it doesn't go beyond, but yeah, 3 to 5 GB it will be there. If it starts creating around log files, and you need to have those log files backup as well, the 3 to 5 GB is required at least. Operating system, okay, any operating system which is found in the supported matrix, you can take it as Windows 7 also it works, and AIX is there, Linux is there, Solaris is there, HPUX is there. There are many different application operating systems are there. You can look into the supported matrix and you can make sure that is present. And installer types. Installer types, like as I said, this is the OS specific installer, which one I showed you. Yeah, this one is OS specific. This is Win32. You can see it here. It's a Windows specific installer file. You cannot run this installer file in another operating system. Like Solaris, you cannot run this one, right? However, this is Java, made up of Java, but as I said, if it is architecture specific or operating system specific, yeah, this kind of file type runs in only Windows, like .exe. But if the generic file is there, that is purely platform compatible, platform portable, and platform compatible. Any platform you can work it on. You can install the generic file on this Weblog on Windows, on Linux, Solaris. The same generic file you can install anywhere. Right. Right. Okay. OS specific installers, generic installers. I'll show you how exactly generic installer look like. Okay. So this is the Oracle's download page. If you have to go here, Weblogic server. On this, you have to go here, and here you see the Oracle Fusion Middleware software downloads. In this you'll find Weblogic server as well. You can see it here, Weblogic server 12c. You can see it here. Windows, this is for development purpose. It's a zip kind of distribution. What you can do is you can just download it, and you can it is valid for all the kind of operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, those kind of things. It is having a kind of zipped installation file. You can look into the files. You can do whatever you want like that. And this is a Windows installer, and this is a Linux installer. This is a OS X installer. Linux installer is valid on Linux machines, and Mac OS X installer, this is valid on Apple machines, and this is valid on each and every, all the machines. In fact, you don't see Solaris over here. However, you can use this one in Solaris, generic one. So if you go for generic instance, 997 MB, 64-bit JVM, it doesn't come in 32-bit. So you need to have a 64-bit JDK installed beforehand, and after that you need to download this. you need to have a you need to agree to the software terms and license agreement, and after that you need to log into the site. Once you download this, it will be under the jar file, in name of the jar file, generic.jar something will be there. You know, to install it. We can look into this later as well. We'll show you how exactly to install the generic file as well. We'll show you in the next class. I don't have it right now, so I'll download it later and I will do it. Right. So after that, development installer. That is the one. This is the development installer. This is the one, development installer. You can just download it and you can look into the files, what exactly they are, those things. And right, development installer, upgrade installers. So suppose think you are on the latest, old version, something like that, like 8.1 or 10, and you want to upgrade it to 10, 12 or something, a 12 or 10.3.6 or something like that. So what you got to do is, the upgrade installers are not available on the this thing, on the downloads file, the external website. But what you need to do is, you need to have access to the support site or e-delivery site, of the Oracle. There you will get the upgrade installers. Once you go there, you will have to just search for upgrade installer for this version. So then it will get the upgrade installer file, and you can download it from there once you have a kind of username, password for that site. So that is there, upgrade installers. This is also a different type of installers. What they will do is, once you just run this upgrade installer, it will ask for the current installation directory. You just need to pass the current installation directory. It will upgrade the existing environment to the current environment, whatever the file version you have downloaded, right, for the upgrade installer. For that version, it will upgrade the existing installation. And installation types. These are the installation types. GUI mode, console mode, and silent mode. In GUI mode, what you'll be having is, you'll be having kind of GUI interface to install. You'll have a installation wizard, and you just need to click next, and you just need to have some kind of parameter specified over there. We'll be looking at these three modes today, I believe. And the console mode, it will be command mode installation. You need to you need to just execute the commands one by one, and you need to select the options in the command mode itself, right? And after that, you'll be able to install the Weblogic server. You need to provide the specific parameters in the command mode itself, then it will be done. In the silent mode, what it will do is, you'll need to have kind of XML file, which will be having a parameter and a value kind of fields, name value fields, like installation home, this value, installation directory, this value, like that. So you need to have that kind of XML file. You need to pass it XML file to the installation file where you are installing. You just need to pass the file. I'll show you that how to do it. Once it is done, and you need to fire the command, and you just don't have to do anything. The user interaction is completely nil. Once you fire the command, it will be done. The installation will be done. You don't have to do any kind of stuff. Right. Okay, after that, this is the silent mode file, looks like. I believe you are able to see the are you able to see this? This is the silent mode file. You need to specify, you need to write the file like this, in this fashion, BA installer, because this silent mode is silent mode concept is developed by BA, so Oracle is taking forward the same thing. So it's still the same, the BA silent mode, but Oracle doesn't really recommend most of the time silent mode stuff. But yeah, different organizations are there. They do the silent mode, or they do the WST mode installation. They do different modes of installation on the basis of their own requirements. So this is silent mode installation. You need to provide BA home directory, what we call as the Weblogic home directory. This is WLS installation directory, where exactly we need to install. It's a value name, and the value we need to give like this. And the component paths, what exactly the components you need to install. See, I want to install a Weblogic server. Under that, I want to install core application server I want to install. So like this, we need to have the components. we have a set of components. We can specify any number of components over here. So accordingly it will be installed. When once you pass this file as a parameter to the command, so it will look into this file and it will install the WebLogic server according to this kind of values. And we have option to install the node manager as well. We have option to install many kind of stuff like manage servers, all those things, but recommended way is like you create the manage servers through console, or you create the manage servers through console mode, something like that. Yeah, because you need to have the requirement first at the first place, like how many manage servers you need, what is administration, what is administration port, what is administration server, this thing, details you need. Those kind of things you need at the first place. It's just a basic installation. What you require is you can specify the domain values over here as well, but it's not really recommended over here. So that is done, and you can install the shortcuts in all user for these kind of things are also provided in the silent.xml. And if you want to install local JVM, I mean if you want to take some kind of local JVMs, if that is there, then you can take it from here itself. There are different parameters you can specify over there. There is a list of parameters. I'll share with you as well. And this is silent.xml. This looks very simple, very small kind of looks, but yeah, it will do all job for the installing. And this is the command, the file num.exe -mode equal to silent silent.xml equal to path to silent.xml file, and you can specify some kind of log location. Because you don't have any kind of interaction, right? So you need to make sure installation was successful or not, right? So after that, we will be looking at okay. Right. So once the installation is done, we will be looking at the directory structure, what exactly the directory structure look like, and what are the directories meant for. What directories consisting, what directories responsible for what kind of this thing. So those things we'll be looking at. And after that, these are the directory structure directories: WebLogic home directory, JRocket, Sun JDK directory, logs directory, modules directory. These directories we'll be looking at. And this one, creating WebLogic server domain. Okay, we'll be looking at the domain creation as well. WebLogic server domain creation. Once the installation is over, where our job is done for the installation. So we'll be looking at the domain creation, the main component of the WebLogic server. In fact, the domain is the main component. So we'll be looking at the domain creation. For domain creation, you need to have a values. Installation can be done anytime, in fact. So installation doesn't require much of the things. You just need to find out the supported metrics, supported configuration. You need to install it. But for the domain creation, you need to have a values. You need to have a specifications, like what exactly client is looking for. Like the servers, how many number of servers, what is the database configuration they are looking for, what is the server port numbers, IP addresses, those things. I mean, what are the machines we should be installing the WebLogic server. Those things we'll be looking at, and the domain creation, what details to be, what are the exact details required, and they specify the details and create the domain. So that we'll be doing the domain creation through console mode as well as the config wizard will be doing it. I'll show you the both modes. Right. So okay, and after this, we'll be working with the domain. I was not able to do all the slides, however, I'll cover all the topics, in fact. So we'll be working with the domain as well. I think today it won't be possible. Tomorrow we'll carry on with the other, yeah, we'll pause somewhere and we'll just continue tomorrow. Okay, we'll be working with the domain in the following perspective, like common elements of the WebLogic server domain we'll be looking at, and using domains in enterprise, how exactly we use domains in enterprise. Administration managed servers will be looking at what exactly they are and how exactly they are created, and what are the major main configuration parameters of the administration domain and managed server domain, managed server administrations and managed servers. And we'll be creating the domains as it should be at the top one. Configuring the domain, how to configure the domain, all those things we'll be looking at. And yeah, describing the organization and contents of the WebLogic server directory structure, we'll be looking at this as well. And WLST also we'll be looking at WLST. I'll just give a brief introduction here, but tomorrow we'll be giving you a brief introduction for the WLST. However, we'll complete the detailed WLST in later parts, and creating a simple domain with one managed server. Those things we'll be looking at. These are very simple. Once I show you the stuff how to create the WebLogic server domain, then you'll be understanding how exactly to create the WebLogic server, all those things. You can do practicals later. In fact, you can download the WebLogic server WebLogic installation file from this. You can register over the WebLogic server Oracle site, and after that you can download the installation file and you can install it on your laptop. It doesn't require much of the effort. In fact, just requires some time to download and install. Right. So I'll start doing the installation now. You guys are ready? You have any questions till now? Naga, you have any question? Okay. 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 Fine. Right. So I'll start installing this thing, the Weblogic server. Here it is the installation file. I'll do the GUI installation first. Right. So you just have to double click it. Right. You just have to double click it. Otherwise, if you are running on Windows, you can right click and run in admin server, run with the administration user privileges. Okay, types of installations are, as I said, GUI installation, GUI mode of installation is there, and we have silent mode of installation, and we have a console mode of installation. Today we will be looking at the GUI mode first, and tomorrow we'll be looking at the other modes as well. As we will be continuing the same kind of class tomorrow, as time is almost like over. We'll be doing the GUI installation today, and I'll show you the things today. In fact, how exactly the GUI looks like, GUI mode looks like. Right. So you just have to double click it or right click, or because Windows 7 is kind of a tricky one. You need to run as administrator, because sometimes what will happen is you must not be having the privileges for the administration. So you need, it's completely recommended that if you are having administration, then it will take it later. It will take the administration privileges. Otherwise, if you don't have, then you need to provide the username password for the administrator. Right. Yes. Now it is preparing for the installer to ready. Okay, it's recommended for you guys to try the installation today. Just download the file and install the WebLogic server as I do it today. No, Naga, the thing is, every installation is the same. It's not simple or extended installation. Uh, it just installing the product. You're not, it installs each and everything. It doesn't go for simple or custom, something like that. It installs everything. However, it gives an option to install the components, but the thing is, if you're installing any kind of fusion middleware component, then it will give an option to install these components, this component, this component. You need to make sure, yeah, like if in GUI, what it will give is, it will give the components name, something like that. But however, in silent XML, you need to provide those components, what exactly the components. But silent mode is not really recommended most of the time, because you'll miss something, like you'll miss the values to provide or something like that. So that will happen. That will normally happen. So instead of installing it again and again, so you just install it through GUI or command mode. Yeah, I'll come to that. I'll come to that tomorrow. In fact, you'll be able to see what exactly files types are provided, like fusion middleware types are there, coherence is there, OEP combined. Those are different file types are there. I'll come to that as well tomorrow. So you'll be able to install. I'll go through as tomorrow. I'll go through the whole Oracle download site. What exactly the downloads are provided and which one to download, which one not to download. Like that. We'll be downloading the this one as well, generic file as well. I'll show you the generic file installation how it is. Right. So now it is the first screen to install. So it says welcome to this Weblogic server installation, and after this will be okay. So it says use an existing. I don't have an existing. I remove everything, but however I'll create the new middleware home. It will ask for the use an existing. If you have any kind of existing middleware home, you can specify that. What I'll do is I'll just create the new middleware home. I'll specify here WL training. WLS training, right? And middleware Weblogic server 12.1.1. It will take by default like this. And I'll specify this is for the installation directory, where exactly the installation you have to you have to install file you have to install. Right. So next. Now it will ask for the email updates if you want to see, if you want to get the updates from the Oracle. Yeah, that's what the middleware home is the same thing where your all the middleware products are stored. So whenever you have different products, like even if you want to install OHS, if you want to install web cache, if you want to install coherence, so those all products will be installed over the same thing if you want to install. Otherwise, middleware home in the perspective of with respect to Weblogic server, that is just a Weblogic server installation directory. It is called as middleware home. That's it. You saw it here, middleware home directory, right? This is the one. The Weblogic server installation directory installation will be happening here. I'll provide the D directory here. D drive is empty, right? So I'll go for here. You'll be able to see that middleware home. I'll show you how exactly it looks like. So this is the middleware home, or what I'm specifying is Weblogic server installation will be done here. Right, next. And I don't want to prefer any kind of emails because I'm not registered on this, because you need to have a support contract if you would like to get the updates from the Oracle. So what I'll do is I will not wish. Do you wish to bypass? Yes. You can look at here. So what it will ask you, do you wish to bypass the initiation of configuration manager and remain uninformed for the critical security issues in your configuration? Yes, because I don't have support contract, I'll go forward. What it will do is if you click yes and you provide Oracle credentials, you need to have a support contract. Those credentials you need to provide. You'll be informed. You'll be getting updates for the security critical things for Weblogic servers. Any updates are there? If they have released any kind of updates, then we informed about this for this version. Next. So now typical installation. If you want to go for custom installation, you can select each and every component. If you want to avoid some of the components, you can avoid them. I'll go for custom because this contains Oracle coherence. Because this at this level I don't want you to confuse with this kind of thing. I'll go for custom, and I'll select the server examples because we need the examples. I'll not select this coherence. I'll remove the coherence. We don't need the coherence at all. So this comes to 612 MB, right? I'll see what are the components it has. It has the core application server. It has the administration console. It has these values. Xquery support. These things are there. Okay, I'll do next. Now it provides two JDKs, like Sun JDK and the Oracle JRocket. So it will, as I said, this type of files come bundled with the JDKs as well. So if you're installing this, it comes to 1 GB. Got it. Sun JDK and the Oracle JRocket. We'll install both. Next. Right. We're installing both. Local JDK, if you have any, you can select it from here. If you don't want to install this, it will come here. I don't have any local JDK, so I'll just go for next. just a minute, I need to open a door. I'll be back just a minute. Server directory, here we'll be getting the WebLogic server installation. That was a middleware home till 12.1.1 because that will be having all the kind of files which are required for the WebLogic server to run. And now this is the main product directory, main WebLogic server installation. In fact, this is WL server 12.12.1 is there, right? So that is having a main library files, main server components, all those things will be there in the 12.1 folder. And after this, it says, see, product home might contain shared utilities and any products or components for which unit directories are not set, right? So product home is till here, but after this the WebLogic server, whatever the files required for the WebLogic server purpose, WebLogic server to run, those files will be installed in this directory. So you do next on this. Okay, now it says you want to install the node manager or not, because as we saw that in silent.xml we had node manager installation as well, node manager service as well. So at this point of time we not go for this because yeah, we'll not be studying that much further for this point of time. Once we come across the node manager, we will install node manager is service, node manager is a node manager component, all those things in the domain environment. So I'll say no here, and after that next. See, this is the normal thing which you'll get for every kind of software, like all users admin or folder or local users admin folder. So just go for all users. Next. Now it will show what exactly the summary is, installation summary. These things, these components will be installed, and after that the JDK with JDK, JRocket both will be installed. Okay, and this comes to 1.2 gigs. Next. Now it is installing. Installation is pretty fast as compared to other application server. WebSphere takes a lot of time, and it has a lot of different stuff as well. It requires a lot of parameters, configuration, all those things. But however, WebLogic installation is very simple and very easy. So it's after this we'll be creating the domain. However, we'll look at the domain creation tomorrow. A JRocket and JDK. JRocket is a BA proprietary JVM. Now it's deprecated because Oracle come up with the JDK 7, right? So what they are doing is, what they did is they have incorporated whatever the JRocket features, best features are there in the JDK itself. They brought the JDK 7. It's JDK 6, so that we are seeing the JRocket and JDK as different. The JRocket is kind of it's developed by BA itself. BA was previously previously owner of a WebLogic server, in fact. So that developed the JRocket on itself, and because the JRocket is having a high performance stuff, it provides really high performance and really kind of less prone to crashes, all those things. It is mainly used for production machines, production Linux machines. JRocket is mainly used for, and that provides really high performance, and it has having many different diagnostic tools, so that you can just diagnose the issues, or find out the issues or fix the issues easily. Like it has a memory leak detector, which JDK doesn't have. It has the JDK JRA recording. Like if you are finding any kind of crashes, then it will record the whole mapping of the objects in the heap. So that kind of things are there in the JRocket. I will be giving you a brief introduction to JRocket in some of the session, in fact, so that will be clear for you. But otherwise, it's not really required because JRocket is completely wiped off now, and it is coming as the JDK 7. It's mainly used for, if somebody asks you, what exactly JRocket is. It just you can answer it as just mainly used for high performance. And high performance it provides because it has optimization technology. It has optimization technology inbuilt within its own, and what we can do is we have, if you are having any kind of applications, big running applications, what it will do is it will just optimize the methods or classes, and it will if those classes are run once, it will not look into those classes again, so that performance or bottleneck will not happen, or it will reduce the that kind of operation, that kind of process again and again. So that kind of automation technology is there. Otherwise, I mean, it will not load the, if you optimize the JRocket once, it will not load the many of the classes. It's like that, those kind of features are there, few features are there which really brought the good kind of things for the JRocket. We can look into the JRocket directory structure as well, how exactly the JRocket directory structure, how exactly the JDK directory structure differs. Right, okay, now you can see here whether it is getting created. See, it's a folder got created, middleware, Weblogic server, 12.1.1, and these are the files got created. See, the JRocket got created here. These are the JRocket files. This is JDK files. Almost same structure. However, it just differs with the functionality. Pen include JRLib. However, it's agreed that it's made up of JDK itself, but it provides a good kind of performance with its optimization technology, with its different like JRMC, memory leak detector. Those kind of features are there. Okay, the installation is done. Oh, Chaitanya, not a problem. It's just the installation what we did. We'll be doing it tomorrow again. If you, if you would like to go with this again, we will be doing the tomorrow installation. If you are, if you guys are not really clear about this, okay. We just did the installation. If it once it's done, installation is done. It's just the directory structure you can see over here, 2.1.1. You can see the JRocket JDK logs directory is there. It's for the kind of what exactly the installation go through, and we'll be looking at the Chaitanya. I think we'll be looking at the different ways of installation. Then also we'll be covering the same kind of stuff, like the GI mode. Now we have covered. We'll be covering the console mode as well and the silent mode as well tomorrow, and you'll be able to get the things all right in the place. If you have any kind of problem, just inform us before and inform Kapil, or if you're in contact with him, you can inform him. We'll do necessary changes. And this is a models directory, patch directory. We'll be looking at the directory structure tomorrow. Is that okay with you guys? Because the time is running out. Okay, fine. So this is the directory structure. I'll be covering the directory details, what exactly the logs directory meant for, models directory meant for, patch directory meant for, details WLC, and these are the files. What are the needs, what are the details, what are the functionalities of these files. Will be covering it. So if you are guys having, if you guys are having any kind of doubts and this thing about the directory structure or the installation, you can ask any questions for today's session. Kapil, can you unmute them so that Kapil, you there? Oracle Coherence is a caching technology. It is used for caching mechanism. In fact, like if you have processing any kind of data, so if you would like to cache it, it's like a web cache technology. It's not really used in WebLogic server. However, recently it is bought by Oracle, I believe, so that is being integrated in this thing. If you would like to know more about this Oracle Coherence, I would be able to give you a brief idea about this. I'll give you, in fact, how exactly, I mean, what exactly it does with the Oracle WebLogic server. Uh, I'll tell you about that. It's mainly used for caching technology. Coherence is mainly used for caching technology, like storing the data so that it will not be should not be accessed again and again. It's like that. Uh, Servers, you mean? I didn't get you. Research on the servers? You mean the WebLogic server? No, we did not install the server. We did the installation of the product. No, product of WebLogic server product. We have installed it. We will be doing the domain creation after this because we need to come across this thing. Like, yeah, this one part is left. Config wizard we need to see. Once the config wizard is completed, then we can create the servers. We can check what exactly servers look like and what is their functionality. It's a lot to come. In fact, it's very. We just completed only 1% or 2% of the Logic server administration. It's just the installation we completed. We have to see. We have to see still many different ways of installation. And know the basic technology of the servers. Basic technology of the servers. It's all J2E technology. In fact, it's like if I can tell you, it's a JVM, right? The server is a JVM. Server is just process, right? So once we come to there, the server creation, all those things will be, you'll be able to know a lot of things about this. Uh, it just is JVM server process. In fact, so it just runs a web container, right? Web application container will be there, and the GGB container will be there. That container will have the capability to just process the application. The process will have a container. Whenever you deploy the application, whenever you run that server, whenever you run that process, you'll be, like for example, if you are doing some kind of Java programming, if you just save some kind of, you just save the Java program in a .java file and you just compile it, saying Java C, this compile, it will convert into bytecode. After that, Java and the file name. What it will do, it will give an output of that file, right? The same kind of stuff it will do for the application, completely application. Just not doesn't do for a Java file, the class file. It will do it for whole application, like war file, ER file. It will have a lot of Java files, right? So it will have a lot of Java files, lot of deployment descriptors. It will have different image files, JSP files, different things of different files will be there. So for that kind of archive files, it will act as a container and it will act as a processor. It will act as a Java command for all this kind of containers. It's like that. I'll tell you few internals of the WebLogic server as well, because most of the administration will miss out on these things. How exactly the internals work in the WebLogic server, like how exactly the server starts, right? If you have some kind of command saying that start weblogic.sh, but however, there are many other ways to start the server. Many other ways, in fact. So many other ways, like you have commands to just invoke the APIs. After that, they invoke the beans. If you just invoke the beans, the server will be started. Those kind of ways are also there. You will be able to know while the troubleshooting part comes. And you have a WLST way also. WLST kind of a beautiful tool. I mean, it's very smart tool to handle the WebLogic server administration. And you will have a JMX, SNMP stuff. Those things are also there. We will be covering those things as well gradually. Kapil, you there?